Good morning. Monday morning, bright and early as you can tell. Heading out to Tel Aviv to meet a top exec at a top tech company to talk about a certain policy that they've recently decided upon, and we're going to discuss that policy. I think I've said too much. After that, I'm heading to Intelligo. You're going to meet part of the team that you have not met before. Then I'm meeting a startup in the audio space at Jems in Petach Tikva. So that's going to be awesome. Followed by another meeting close to home here with an old friend who has a new venture, which you'll probably hear more about later, but not exactly a tech venture. It's going to be a crazy day. Let's do this. This morning's meeting has to have been the most impactful meeting I've ever been a part of. Can't really talk very much about it for obvious reasons, but it was really, it's really an incredible one. Hopefully something that will fundamentally change opinion on a certain, very explosive topic. Enough said. Now in Petach Tikva, heading to Intelligo. Hopefully going to have the opportunity to interview some people that will give you another kind of perspective on Intelligo and why I love it so much. This interview is a first of many. Number one, I have no voice. That's because I've been sick for the past week, and because I was very, yeah, you too? And I was in a very passionate meeting this morning that I was very vocal in, so I even more so lost my voice, number one. Number two, I don't think maybe I have, but not many, done interviews in this format. This is a little bit awkward. We'll figure it out, though. We got this, guys.
Yeah, all
right, let's roll with the punches. Okay, so you guys know Intelligo. You know, you've heard me talk about Intelligo. You've met Shlomo many times. You've met Rachel. You've met a lot of the people. You've heard why I love this company, mainly because today the main currency by which we all do business is trust, and you have to trust someone to do business with them. Having said that, you have to determine something to base that trust on. I know this is a very long-winded way of saying that background checks are very important, and they're very important in three main verticals. One, in the financial sector, whether you're making an investment, who is this team I'm about to invest in? You're hiring someone, who is this person I'm about to hire? And the third one is government. We met with the U.S. government. That was a cool trip, and they're foaming at the mouth because they have to do background. They're backlogged hundreds of thousands of people that they have to do background checks on. And the way background checks were always done, super primitive, static. I do a background check tomorrow. The guy breaks the law. I'll never know, and it's a 500-page document. It's a mess. Enter Intelligo, AI, machine learning, all the buzzwords you can imagine. Now, till now you've heard all of that. Today we have the opportunity, as I mentioned before, to meet the brains behind all the magic. Who are you?
I'm Ran.
I love how, here's the thing with great people, they're very humble. You're not just Ron, you're like one of the top tech, this guy is literally one of the top tech people in the country. I think that's a consensus. Is that true?
Of course.
All right, yeah, he's also, you're next. Just wait, I'm coming for you. So what's your last name, first of all?
I'm Landau. I'm Intelligo CTO. I joined the company 2.5 years ago.
You built the tech?
And I built the tech.
Okay.
Along with many people, and along with product sales, but we built the tech.
People that are small like to take credit, people that are big like to give credit to other people. You notice that? It's amazing. Okay, so let me just make sure that Nadav is in here because he's very good looking. We want him in the frame. Okay, and who are you?
I'm Nadav.
You've been on the vlog before.
I have, in San Francisco.
In San Francisco, that was a fun day.
Ron has as well back here.
He wasn't in San Francisco.
Yeah, we had a few minutes.
It was once in
Right,
a while.
we had a conversation, that's true. Now, thanks for reminding me. Okay, so you're Nadav. Nadav what?
Ellinson.
Okay, and you're somewhat of a prodigy. I know you're not going to say it, but you are. At least that's what Shlomo tells me.
Shlomo tells many people many things.
You should pay him for PR. Okay, so where are you from originally?
We do. I'm from Australia. I run the product team here.
Okay, so your official title here?
VP product.
VP product. All right, so these two guys, literally, with all due respect to Shlomo, we love Shlomo. I mean, literally, I love Shlomo. I mean, I'm here because of Shlomo. The guy, is building a rocket ship. These guys are building the magic. Tell me, let's start with you, okay? What has to happen for you to do background checks in 2018, soon to be 2019? How does this all work? What's the technology? Talk to me.
Sure. So, it starts from data, essentially. The biggest problem in the industry is that there is a huge amount of data out there, and there's no way to access it in an easy way. I mean, to take an example of like the New York County Court records or other county court records from legal cases in the US.
Right.
If somebody wants to go on and get those records, they have to go to an ancient website from 20 years ago. They have to log in, they have to pay money, they have to get through these captures. These websites are down for half of the day. It's really impossible to access the data. And then once you get the data, you have to understand what's going on. And for our clients, they don't have the time to start doing these investigations themselves. They need to receive the data in a very easy way, in a report which is very easy to read and know they can...
Crucial point. In other words, it's not just the fact that they don't have the time to go search for that information, but even if they'd use, let's say, a vendor or an agency to do a background check, they have no time to start going through this. I mean, how big are background checks pre-Intelligo, generally speaking, like traditional background checks?
You could have reports with dozens of pages.
Like, it's just impossible to decipher. If somebody did something, or they had, a lawsuit or bankruptcy, it would be on page who knows what, and I might miss it. It's very primitive. And I like to say, and I met, the person I met with this morning, I told him the same thing. We've talked about this many times. All the winners, right? All the winners have one thing in common. They took something that always existed, and they've disrupted it using technology.
For sure.
So background checks is not a new thing. Everybody needs background checks. It's just that we now have the technology, including AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, and many others, which I want to hear a little bit about, if you could dumb it down for us stupid people, to facilitate background checks in a more efficient manner. And also the ongoing thing. I want to hear about that. But just tell me, how do you use AI? Let's ask this guy. Well, we talk about AI. Come into the frame, man. Get back in there.
AI is a big buzzword.
Yeah, come in. You're not in the frame. You're like all the way out there.
All right. So everyone says AI.
Yes.
Everyone talks AI.
Right.
It's a buzzword, but actually we break AI into three different concepts here in Intelligo. Yes, everyone uses machine learning, and so we have deep machine learning. We are training a lot of data, and we have deep learning to enhance it.
Right.
We also have NLP algorithms.
Say what NLP is. Natural language
processing.
Right.
It is some yoga type of NLP.
Normal people don't know what NLP is. I'm just saying, man. You like think in your world.
We also use a lot of algorithms, which we built very sophisticated algorithms, which are NLP based, and we achieve some of the product goals through those NLP algorithms. And also, our machine is actually AI. What's AI actually? It's artificial intelligence. So yeah, you can say machine learning, you can say NLP, you can use all the buzzwords.
Right.
Actually, Intelligo is AI in the real sense of AI, because we take what people do, what an actual person do. That's what we did along this product all those years. We took an actual workflow which our analyst has done manually many times before, and we broke it into small parts, many microservices, and many types of algorithms, and many types of everything. Some are simple, some are sophisticated, some are more tricky, some have the inch mode and everything, but we actually took the workflow of a manual analyst, and we broke it into many algorithms and many machine learning parts and a lot of parts, and that's why we're really AI, because we don't use just the technology. We took
what analysts were doing.
We took what a human does, and we made the machine to do that.
I often say I like being the dumbest person in a room. Right? Usually I'm like the dumbest person by a little margin. Today I'm like no. Listen, you guys are like a whole different level, but irrelevant of that. Think about NLP. I mean, I don't know if this is I'm taking a little bit of a sidetrack here, but Google this week announced or released Google Lens for iPhone. Yeah. Right. I opened the Google app and I pointed it at something.
It's amazing.
In real life, I pointed it at a lens cap. I pointed it at a lens cap. Just pointed. I didn't do anything, and it automatically found via its algorithms lens caps similar to this one, where to buy them. Like crazy, spooky, creepy stuff. Like
now, imagine if you're on Android.
Yeah, it's true. By the way,
there is also the GAN algorithm who creates images based of data. You can just define it like I want a blonde Indian guy, and it will visualize you a new face who was never created.
Stuff is like way beyond my comprehension.
Like a human being, but it's only machine generated.
Image recognition has reached levels that are
right. Well, that's image recognition, but I'm tying it back to NLP in that at the end of the day, listen, right now this thing says Lumix on it, but I can read that and you can read that, but if an algorithm can read that, it can decipher the fact that, let's just say, for argument's sake, to oversimplify, if this person has the word bankruptcy associated with his name on Twitter or on, his records or whatever it is, how does this algorithm know that the word bankruptcy equals red flag, and that's part. I mean, I'm way oversimplifying, but that's the concept: the ability to look at text and look at language and words and say, okay, this right here is a red flag. And by the way, the platform, correct me if I'm wrong, that's how it works. It works with red flags, right? In other words, it doesn't say.
That's more for Nadav to say, but the red flags is one part of the platform, and we actually use NLP, but not just find the word bankruptcy.
Right. It's much more complicated than that, of course. I know. I'm dumbing it down to my level.
Yeah, okay.
But at the end of the day, listen. Here's another important point. There's a lot of spaces, like even the legal space, which is being disrupted by algorithms, and hot companies in the space, and they say, listen, we're not looking to replace lawyers. What we're doing is we're looking to minimize their time and effort that they have to spend, because now we are able to analyze, let's say, this
now.
Exactly, right now, and say to them, this is what you need to do. So in your case, you're also not looking necessarily to replace analysts. You're saying our algorithm will be able to determine where there are red flags that are then analyzed by analysts, and it's a question of time and efficiency and effectiveness. Correct?
For sure.
Tell me about that a little bit.
There are some level of reports. A lot of our clients, the machine learning might get to 98%, 99% accuracy, but in some of these industries, it's not enough. And if you can build a tool where an analyst can plug into the data at every single point in the flow and be able to amend things and to be able to show the analyst data in a very user-friendly way, and for the analyst to understand the depth of what's going on, then you can produce a product which is combined human and machine in a way that wasn't ever been able to be done before.
So, I can't help it. These guys are tech guys, product guys. I'm a business guy, and so for me, as you're saying these words, I'm thinking of the implications or the manifestations of this technology in the real world. In other words, let's just take one of the many verticals. Let's just take one example: is the investment world, right? What do all VCs say today? They all say the same thing. All of them. They say a couple of things that are the same things. We provide value. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. The other thing they all say is we invest in people.
Right. Everyone
says we invest in people, and that's great. That's really nice when it works in your favor. Right, when you have a really strong entrepreneur who has a great track record. But you also need to know, has this guy done something shady in his past? You need, by the way, I don't mean to position Intelligo as only finding negative things. It's more about intelligence. Talk about intelligence into everything in our lives. We need intelligence into people. I need to know this person I'm about to invest millions of dollars in.
Our clients want to know what questions do they need to ask the guy they're investing in.
That's interesting.
Before they go into an interview or to a meeting with them, so that they can really understand who their background is.
Right. It's really about
knowing the person
and facilitating trust, which is again the DNA or the blood running in the veins of all business
There are some
transactions.
clients who've told us that just the very fact that the client knows that the check is being run on them means that they're going to be more honest in the discussions.
I like that. Yeah, it's all about trust at the end of the day. It's really fascinating. Tell me a little bit about the ongoing monitoring concept.
Sure. So, up till today, if someone was to run a background check, you'd get this huge PDF document, receive it in your email, and then a day later it's out of date.
Right.
What happens if the next day the guy either has a news article published about him, something simple, or goes and gets arrested for a DUI?
Right.
You won't know about it.
Which is crazy. It's crazy to think about.
And so you've got firstly that period of 2 months between when you do the background check and between when you sign that deal, and that's a really crucial time to know what's going on. And then after you've done the deal, depending on the kind of investment that you've done, if it's more liquid, less liquid, there's many instances where you want to be able to know so that you can anticipate what this relationship's going to be like. You can anticipate what media coverage there's going to be of this company, how the stock price is going to be effective. It's a public company. Lots of different use cases where you really need to know what's going on in life.
And speaking of use cases, is it fair to say, and I know you're the product guy, but you're also a co-founder and you're also very involved in product, in business and everything. The three kind of core, let's call it verticals or pillars of focus for the company are the three that I mentioned before. Right. Do those things manifest in the product? Meaning, are you building certain parts of the product or features in the product specifically targeting finance versus HR versus government?
100%. If you just start from the data sources, there are certain declarations of financial institutions, and you have to know how to understand that data and integrate it. And then if you go toward the HR perspective, you want to know a lot more about validation of previous job history, and there's a lot more focus on that kind of thing. And you go towards the government sector, and it's another world altogether.
Incredible. It's amazing. Listen, the bottom line is like this. For the sake of the ADD of my viewers, we're at 12 minutes. My editor's going to shock me. But listen, guys, obviously, you know what I think of you. You know what I think of this company. It's honored to be an advisor. I love the company, I think there's only going to be an increased demand and need for a platform like Intelligo. And so, from my perspective, as far as I'm concerned, both product, technology, and business, we're just getting started. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, it's really fair.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
As always, fantastic meetings at Intelligo. Heading out to Jems Beer Factory to meet an old friend who has a company that is bringing audio technology to schools around Israel. So students who can't necessarily read as easily. This basically enables them to succeed. Pretty amazing project. I don't think it's, I think it's a non-profit, so it's a little bit of a different meeting, but I love the guys, love the mission, so I'm meeting to see how I can help them. And Jems, so win-win. I used to work here in Petach Tikva, and I used to eat at Jems literally every single day for approximately 3 years. I've obviously since stopped working in Petach Tikva, and I have not been here in a very long time, but it's an amazing place, and it's guys yelling at me at the parking lot. It's an amazing place here, Jems. They make beer that's distributed globally, but it's also an awesome restaurant. Love Jems. Cool meeting, but the lighting in there is not optimal for an interview, so we'll interview those guys a different time. And now, trying not to get killed in the street and heading back to Beit Shemesh, have a meeting with a friend, who is building a fake mobile ice skating rink. Can't make this stuff up. All right, heading now to the mall to this meeting about the ice skating thing, but I just wanted to re-emphasize a point I've talked about many times. I just got a phone call. Hi, my name is X, and I wanted to talk to you about startups. I was like, excuse me, context, who are you? How did you find me? Where'd you get my phone number from? Oh, I follow you on the internet and I wanted to talk to you about my startup. So I said to her, feel free to send me a message with some context and we can set up a call. Once again, you call someone in business, not talking about friends or family. You call someone, you're basically saying my time is more important than your time. You want to talk now, so you decide that now's the time to talk. But what happens if that person's not available? Instead, you write the message, that person responds on their time, and you can set a meeting or a phone call if relevant. Picking up the phone and calling a stranger without them giving you their phone number and asking you to call because you decided now's a good time is both ineffective and inconsiderate. And that's all I have to say about that. Off to the meeting. A lot has been said on the internet about bad parking, and I've seen my fair share of bad parking, but this is a whole new level. Are you serious right now? Really? Ending the day here in the local Beit Shemesh Mall, nothing like it, with a friend here who, I don't know, how long have we known each other?
A long time. Live next to each other, kids in the same gun.
Steal your dad's seat in synagogue. It's good stuff.
Okay,
good stuff. So, I gave you an intro specifically focused on your fake ice skating rink, and it turns out that wasn't even actually the topic of the meeting, but let's just focus on that for like 35 seconds. You worked as an exec at one of Israel's largest companies. You talk about that for a second? Or?
Iron Source, we can certainly talk about.
You're not embarrassed?
No, I'm not embarrassed at all.
No, I'm just kidding.
Should I be?
No, I'm being sarcastic. It's ad tech, whatever. We love Iron Source.
Yes,
but you worked at Iron Source for 5 years. What was your role there?
I was at first the head of QA, and then I was the head of business development. I led a business development team. Iron
Source is a unicorn and then some. Look them up, ironsource.com. You were there for 5 years. You left for various reasons, which we're not going to talk about now. Maybe we'll do that in interview 2.0. But you left how long ago?
I left 6 months ago.
6 months ago, okay. And would you say now you have two things that you're doing, or are you doing other things that we didn't talk about?
I'm doing a few other things, but they're not interesting.
Let's talk about these two things. Let's talk about the ice skating. What's the deal?
So me and a partner of mine, our dream was to build a entertainment center in Beit Shemesh.
Okay.
Hillel knows as well because he lives here with kids. There's absolutely nothing to do in this city. Absolutely nothing. There's a bowling center that's overpriced and usually disgusting.
All right, can we not diss on Beit Shemesh,
Okay, we're not dissing Beit Shemesh. It's a dream city. I moved away.
I'm loving it. I don't know about you, but anyway, yeah, go on.
So, and we started doing some research with worldwide entertainment centers on what should be in this entertainment center.
Okay.
And we actually got to it's not new, but there's new technology involved in synthetic ice. So you said it was a fake ice skating. It's not fake ice skating. It's real ice skating on fake ice.
Okay,
and,
stand corrected.
Okay, yeah, please.
So is there a website?
There is skatezone.co.il.
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 So how does it work? I have a bar mitzvah. I want to bring an ice skating rink. I can bring it?
Yes, you can. Currently, we're in 2 malls. We're at the TLV Mall in
really?
Tel Aviv. Yes,
that's awesome.
Next to the kids center over there, and we're in a mall in Kfar Saba.
Super cool.
We're in a few discussions with some malls to go, pretty much through the summer.
How big is it?
So the full rink, we actually divided it into malls. Don't have a lot of space inside the mall, and yet they still really want ice skating in the mall. They can't do real ice because it's incredibly expensive and just huge and noisy, and upkeep is crazy.
Right.
And so this makes sense to them, and it's excellent it's fun for kids, and kids are looking for a smaller rink. We brought in about 170 meters, and it's now divided into 2 rinks of 72 meters with some on the side.
Hey Siri, what's 170 meters in feet?
170 meters is 557.74 feet.
I forgot your audience. Yeah. We're not,
I just want to make sure everyone knows what we're talking
Who
about.
uses that system?
Okay, cool. All right, now you mentioned a word that's a nice segue. So I appreciate that you put that out there for me. You mentioned the word dreams.
Yeah.
So I get the ice skating thing, super cool. You guys can check it out. But you're also building this other thing, which I'm gonna maybe let me do the initial pitch.
Okay.
There's pretty much, there aren't many things that every human being on planet Earth share. Every human being on planet Earth have in common. One of them is ego. I think everyone has an ego. Some are smaller, some are bigger, but putting that aside, one thing that everyone shares is dreams, our dreams. Everyone has dreams. There's no such thing as a person that has no dreams. They might have dreams that they suppress, that they don't think about because it's so unattainable, but everyone has dreams. If you're a kid, you want to be an astronaut. If you're an adult, everyone has dreams, right? Now, we've kind of gotten so cynical and so ingrained in the business world that everything's about money. We've kind of forgotten our primal core, which is dreams. What are we here for? What do we want to do with our lives, right? And so, we talked a lot about how people behave in large corporations, and you walk over to someone who's like in a production line, you say, well, what are you hoping to achieve here? And they have no idea, basically, because they've just lost sight of their star, the Northern Star. So you're kind of bringing us back to our childhood and facilitating the fulfillment of dreams.
Yeah, I think it's super sad that the last time that we were asked what our dream was in kindergarten, and I assume you relate. It's also sad that people literally ask you what you do for a living, and that translates in modern day English to
who are you?
To how much are you making? What are you doing?
Sure.
Why is that a living? Why are we living towards money? Why are we living towards that? We should be living our dreams.
I just want to tell you something else, by the way. I apologize for interrupting you, but we're close enough.
That's okay.
I do, one of the things that I do for fun is help people get jobs, right? And when I get phone calls from people or I get emails from people saying, well, I've done this, I can do this, I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear what you've done. I don't care what you think you can do. Answer me one question. If you wake up tomorrow morning and you are living your dream,
how would that look?
Like I am, by the way, professionally speaking, what does that look like? That is what you should aim for. If your dream professionally is to be the CEO of Google, then it might not be achievable, but let's aim there. And then slowly but surely work our way down. But if you start from the top, you'll never work your way up. Aim to your dream. Your dream should be what you're going for, and then you got to work towards it, right?
Right. By the way, that 100% I connect with that. That's, again, an iron source if you guys are watching this, and I'm completely sorry. But but one of the reasons I left Iron Source, and this is one of them, and I spoke with the people involved about all of them, but one of the reasons is I was waking up in the morning and I said, you know what, this is not my dream. It's an excellent company. It's an amazing company to work for, and I was there since they had 100 people, but and the hyper growth was incredible and everything like that, but it's just not what I wanted to do every day.
You don't want to find yourself 80 years old working for Iron Source.
No, right. I want to make
it.
people happy, and that's what brought me to the ice skating. I want to do things that are fun, yeah.
So you're building this platform for people to achieve their dreams. It's a relatively simple marketplace model where I have a dream on the one hand, so that's the demand. I have demand for someone to fulfill my dream. And on the other hand, you have the supply of a person. My dream is to drive in a Lamborghini. Here's someone on the other side who can
has a Lamborghini and would love to let you drive it.
Once I onboard to the platform, I say, okay, my dream is to drive in a Lamborghini, but I can also fulfill someone else's dream because I have a recording studio and I can help someone become a singer. Just to give you an example. So every supply is also demand. That's an interesting characteristic.
And the more you act as a supplier, the more you help others complete your dream. We'll promote you. Obviously free. There's no advertising. There's no paid, to promote. Right. There's help to promote. There's encouraged to help people fulfill others' dreams, and then we'll help you promote.
Beautiful. Sounds amazing. This is early stage.
Very early.
Is there a website yet? No.
Not yet.
No.
Well,
do you have a name of the company?
Dreams. We're changing the way Dreams is written, so it's DREEMZ.
I like it.
ME.
You know that for the rest of the life of this company, you're going to spend your days saying no DREE.
That's fine with me because you know what? One thing that we're going to put into the PowerPoint presentation, we took it out, is that if you look up the definition of dreams, there's a lot of times. I think Webster was the one that says that doesn't even say it's attainable. That says it's a abstract thing. That a dream is meant to be achieved, and that's what we're trying to change. And that's why we don't like the definition currently of dream. We're trying to disrupt it in the high tech.
Love it. Listen, bro. On a personal level, it's great because you're super cynical guy, kind of like your dad, and this is kind of tapping into your soft side. So I'm digging that. But listen, the bottom line is it's super duper cool. We can always have next time we should do it over steak or something, and over diet
real
spray.
Meal. There's a fast tomorrow, and you have a diet spray.
That's true. It's a big problem. But listen, I dig it. I think it's a great idea. I told you kind of next steps, and I think at the end of the day, given your background, given your partner sitting here, his background, we'll interview him next time. We build something pretty meaningful, and that's the most important thing. We said meaningful and delight. Monetization comes next, but first and foremost create that delight, or in the cliche term, value. On that note, yes.
I don't know if this will make the final cut because you kind of edit everything out, but we really, really super appreciate Hillel's help. Every word that he said, probably cost us a ton of time and effort in the future, but it's just valuable and it's gold, and that's the reason I reached out.
And on that note, I have a PTA meeting in 20 minutes, and it's a half an hour drive. This was fun. Thanks, guys.
Much,
I'm running, and on this note, I'll see you guys tomorrow.